This is Leaders Listen Up from Stream to Team. In this episode, we unpack one of the most common pitfalls in leadership communication, the misuse of the terms vision, strategy, and plan. When too often used interchangeably in boardrooms and leadership meetings, these words lose their power, confuse teams, and fragment execution. In today's fast-moving business environment, leaders are under relentless pressure to deliver results while navigating uncertainty. But many transformations stall not because of poor execution, but because of fuzzy language at the top. We'll cover why leaders blur these terms and the costly consequences that follow. A practical framework for differentiating between vision, strategy, and plan. How precision in language can cascade into alignment, credibility, and stronger results across the enterprise. One key takeaway: if everything is called strategy, then nothing truly is. Clear language creates clear outcomes. By sharpening the way you use vision, strategy, and plan, you sharpen execution and strengthen leadership credibility. Maya, Ethan, what can you share with us on this topic?
Today we're plunging into something that sounds basic but causes so much confusion. Vision, strategy, and plan.
It really does. They seem simple, but the way they get tangled up in practice is, well, it's a major issue.
Yeah, we've all been in those meetings, haven't we? Someone throws around strategy when they really just mean a task list, or they talk about vision like it's something we do next Tuesday.
Exactly. And everyone nods along, but you get this feeling that people aren't actually on the same page.
And the thing is, leaders are under immense pressure, right?
Yeah.
Deliver results, navigate complexity. But our sources are clear. A lot of big changes, these transformations, they don't stumble just because of bad execution.
No, often it's way earlier than that. It's a fundamental lack of clarity right at the start. Using these key terms interchangeably just waters them down.
It creates confusion, fragments the actual work, and honestly, it just drains energy and resources.
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? To cut through all that jargon, sharpen up what each term really means, and show how getting that clarity right at the top can cascade down and align the whole organization.
It's fascinating because it's not just about words, is it? It goes deeper.
Oh, absolutely. It hits the core of how an organization functions, how it decides things, where the money goes, its ability to actually succeed. It's fundamental stuff.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Why do leaders, even smart leaders with good intentions, get these mixed up so often? It feels like it should be straightforward.
That's a great question, and the research points to a few things. First, just sheer pressure for results.
Right. Need to show action.
Exactly. Deadlines loom, the board's asking questions, you grab the word that sounds most impactful, maybe strategy sounds weightier than plan in that moment.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Then there's what one source called buzzword inflation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Strategy and vision just sound more sophisticated, maybe. More compelling than just saying, here's the plan.
So people overuse them and they lose their meaning.
Precisely. They become diluted. And another big factor is different backgrounds.
Like finance sees it one way, marketing another?
Exactly. Finance, marketing, IT. They might all use these terms with slightly different nuances based on their discipline. Without a shared definition, a common framework agreed upon at the top.
They're just talking past each other.
Literally. And there's maybe a psychological element too. Making real strategic choices involves saying no.
The trade-offs. That's hard.
It is hard. It can be uncomfortable, politically tricky. Sometimes calling a very detailed plan a strategy feels safer. It gives this illusion of decisive action without actually making those tougher, higher-level choices about direction.
Yeah, it really clicks. Avoiding the tough choices by focusing on the detailed how instead of the strategic what and why. So what should be this clear cascade of direction turns into? What did the sources call it? A swirl of jargon.
Yeah, I think that captures it perfectly. A swirl of jargon.
And this is where it hits home for you, listening. How does that swirl at the top actually affect your work, your team, the company's success? Because the ripple effects are very real.
They really are. It's not abstract.
No, not at all. When the language is fuzzy up top, think about what happens down the line. Misaligned priorities.
Right. Definitely. Teams working really hard, pouring effort into activities that, well, they just don't move the needle on the big goals.
Such a waste of energy. And resources too, I imagine.
Huge waste. Funding gets spread thin because leadership hasn't made those clear strategic trade-offs about what not to pursue. So you end up with lots of things getting a little bit of funding, but nothing getting enough to truly succeed.
What about morale? Trust?
Oh, that takes a massive hit. Employees aren't stupid. They see when the language feels hollow or shifts constantly. Skepticism creeps in, then cynicism, then just disengagement.
Yeah, you lose credibility. And then there's execution drift.
Mm-hmm. The day-to-day plans just sort of wander away from whatever the original strategy was supposed to be, like having a map but driving off-road.
And constantly announcing new strategies.
Which are often just new plans with a fancier name. That leads straight to change fatigue. People feel jerked around like, here we go again.
It really paints a picture. So it boils down to that phrase, doesn't it? If leaders are fuzzy at the top,
execution will be messy at the bottom. It's almost inevitable. And beyond the inefficiency, think about the human cost.
the motivation aspect.
Yes, that emotional toll when your hard work feels disconnected or pointless or like you're just spinning your wheels. People want to contribute to something meaningful. Unclear language kills that connection.
Okay, so the problem is clear. Fuzzy language leads to fuzzy execution. The solution then must be clarity.
Crystal clarity. A solid framework with really crisp definitions, a shared vocabulary.
Right, let's build that framework now. Vision, strategy, plan, let's break them down. Definition, guiding question, nature, maybe an example.
Perfect. Let's start with vision. Think of this as the destination.
Okay, the North Star.
Exactly. The definition is a clear, compelling picture of the desired future state. Where are we ultimately trying to go? So the guiding question is simple. Where do we want to go?
And its nature.
Inspirational, enduring, ideally, aspirational. It should pull people forward. An example from the sources was a bank aiming to become a digital-first bank where every interaction is seamless, personalized, and secure.
You can picture that. It's clear. Okay, next. Strategy.
Strategy is the pathway, how you'll get to that destination.
The route on the map.
Precisely, the definition, the system of choices about how you'll deploy resources, your money, people, time to achieve the vision. The key question here is, how will we get there?
And the nature of strategy.
It's long-term, usually. It's choice-driven. And critically, it's anchored in trade-offs. What you will do, and just as importantly, what you won't do.
Right. That's saying no part again.
Yes. So for that digital bank, a strategy might be prioritize automation, data-driven personalization, and mobile-first experiences before investing heavily in physical branches or launching unrelated product lines. See the choices, the focus.
Yeah, very clear. Okay, finally, plan.
The plan is the execution framework. This is where the rubber meets the road.
The actual driving directions.
Exactly. Definition. A sequence of specific actions, commitments, and timelines to carry out the strategy. It answers, what exactly will we do, by when, and with what resources?
And its nature.
Tactical, time-bound, measurable. And dynamic plans often need to adjust based on reality.
Okay, an example for the bank plan.
Sure, something like, launch the digital onboarding pilot in Q2, aiming for 10,000 users. Roll it out to all branches by Q4. Allocate $50 million to automate customer support queries by year-end. Very concrete, measurable steps.
That breakdown is incredibly helpful. Vision inspires, strategy guides, plan executes. That's the core idea.
That's it.
And you mentioned accountability earlier. Blurring these terms must really mess with that too, right?
Yeah.
If I'm told to execute the vision, what does that even mean day to day?
Oh, absolutely. It muddies accountability completely. Who owns what? Vision is about inspiration. Leadership owns painting that picture. Strategy is about hard choices. And resource allocation senior leaders are accountable for those big bets.
And the plan.
The plan is about delivery, specific actions, timelines, results. Teams and managers are accountable for executing that. When you call everything strategy, who's truly responsible for the tough pathway choices versus the detailed steps? It creates ambiguity. Hard to manage performance that way.
Okay, let's make this even more concrete. There was a case study in the sources about an agile transformation.
Yes, the financial services company. A classic example.
They launched this big initiative, presented a document called the Strategy for Agile at Scale. Sounds good, right? Very official.
Sounds great on the surface. But the problem was, when you actually looked at the document...
It wasn't really a strategy.
Not at all. It was a detailed implementation plan, full of training schedules, tool rollouts, timelines for stand-up meetings per team. All the doing stuff.
So what was missing?
The actual strategic choices. There is nothing about where to focus agility first, which parts of the business needed it most, what were the critical trade-offs, like would they prioritize speed over process perfection in some areas, and crucially, how would funding shift? Moving from old-style projects to enduring product teams requires fundamental changes in budgeting. That wasn't addressed.
So they executed the plan.
Flawlessly. Training's done, teams renamed squads, lots of sticky notes everywhere. Leaders checked the boxes and declared success based on the plan's completion.
But the vision, faster delivery, more customer value.
Didn't happen. The underlying ways of working, decision-making, funding, none of that truly changed.
And the impact on the people, the business.
Predictable, unfortunately. Employees saw it as superficial, just new labels, same old problems. Customers saw zero difference.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the whole thing lost credibility. Momentum died. People got frustrated.
That's such a clear illustration. The lesson being,
By confusing plan with strategy, they delivered a ton of activity but almost no real impact. They were busy but not effective in achieving the transformation's goal. It's a vital lesson for anyone leading change. Doing things right isn't the same as doing the right things.
powerful. So let's flip it. What's the upside? When leaders do get this right, when they are disciplined about separating vision, strategy, and plan,
The positive side. It's huge. You get real cascading alignment.
people actually see how their work fits in.
Exactly. Teams understand the connection between their daily tasks and that bigger, inspiring vision. It's incredibly motivating.
And decision-making improves.
Dramatically. Leaders at all levels can make better trade-offs because they have that clear strategic pathway as a guide. Is this decision moving us towards the vision along our chosen path?
Which leads to better execution, presumably.
Much stronger execution. Plans become coherent, they're achievable, they're measurable because they're directly derived from the strategy, not just random actions.
And employee engagement.
Goes way up. People connect their efforts to that shared aspiration, not just ticking boxes. There's a sense of purpose.
And it makes the team stick, right? It's not just another initiative.
Yes. You get sustained transformation, the vision provides the long-term direction, the strategy adapts as needed, and the plans flex with reality. It creates lasting change, not just temporary buzz.
So for everyone listening, maybe leading a team or just trying to communicate clearly, is there a simple takeaway, a practical tip?
Absolutely. It's deceptively simple. Before you communicate direction in a meeting, an email, whatever, just pause, ask yourself, am I talking about the destination, vision? Am I talking about the pathway and choices, strategy? Or am I talking about the specific steps, plan?
Just that pause for clarity.
Use that pause. It's remarkable how much noise that simple discipline cuts through. It builds trust because people know you're being precise. It empowers them.
This has been incredibly clarifying. It really drives home that this isn't just semantics, is it? Vision, strategy, plan, getting them right is fundamental.
It really is. It's about leadership effectiveness and getting real results.
And those relationships you mentioned.
Right. The summary. Vision without strategy, just a dream, aspiration. Strategy without a plan, just theory stuck on paper. And a plan without vision. That's just busyness, activity without direction.
So sharpening the language sharpens the execution.
Precisely. Clarity at the top creates alignment all the way down. It turns jargon into results.
Which leaves us with that final thought to chew on from the sources. If everything gets called strategy, then maybe nothing truly is.
Makes you think.
How could you apply that idea, the power of precise language in your own work, your own organization? Think about how clear words can lead to clear outcomes. We hope this deep dive helped bring some of that clarity. We'll talk to you next time.
If today's episode sparked some reflection, here's the big takeaway. If everything is called strategy, then nothing really is. Vision, strategy, and plan aren't interchangeable. Vision inspires. It defines where we're going. Strategy guides. It shows how we'll get there. And plan executes. It spells out what we'll do and when. Confusing them blurs accountability, dilutes impact, and stalls transformation. But when leaders sharpen their language, they sharpen execution. And that clarity is exactly what's needed for the toughest leadership challenge of all. Balancing the pressure to deliver results today with the responsibility to prepare for tomorrow. That's where we're headed in our next episode. Leading the paradox, present change versus future evolution. If you'd like the downloadables from this episode, visit streamtoteam.com. And until next time, keep leading from stream to team.